Hello friends, we are going to learn the next point of this topic. It's called the types of layout and types of frame used in automobile. So let's see the next slide. This before going to learn the types of layout, we have to understand the basic components position in the layout. This figure indicates front engine rear wheel drive. So this layout is based on the types of drive arrangement given to the vehicle. This is called the chassis having the cross members are connected. The cross members are connected. These cross members are connected to these two long mile steel members, and it provided housing to the all automobile components. The first point is the radiator. Before that also in new modern vehicle you can see the another part that is called the intercooler, okay, is given for the turbo engines. Later radiator, this is the engine, and in between there is a fan. Okay, fan may be operated directly from the engine or sometimes electric power given to the fan. This is the engine power generating unit. It provides the motive power to perform various functions of the vehicle. Later is the clutch. Clutch is situated in between the engine and transmission system. Transmission means gearbox. This clutch function of the clutch is used to connect or disconnect the engine power to road wheel when desired as per the driver's requirement. Third component is the gearbox or transmission system. Gearbox is used to obtain the various fixed torque ratio according to the requirement. It also helps to reverse the vehicle. Means gearbox having 3 to 5 forward gear and 1 reverse gear with a different torques output. After that, it is connected to the propeller shaft. This propeller shaft consists of two universal joint and one slip joint. It is transmit the torque from the gearbox shaft to the final drive, and also adjust the different inclination when vehicle come across the bumps or shocks. For that purpose only two universal joints are provided in the propeller shaft. The this part is called the housing or technical language differential. It helps to turn the vehicle through right angle and split the torque in equal proportion to the road wheel. It transmits this torque or engine power equally to the rear wheel, and it also without slip it's make a smooth turning of the vehicle because of the inside gear arrangement of this differential. All these parts from clutch to the differential to this live axle are coming under the transmission system, clutch, gearbox and propeller shaft. We are going to learn all these component detail in the transmission system. Later, the last part is called the wheel and tire assemblies. These wheels along with the tire has to take vehicle load and provide cushioning effect, and it also adjust with the steering controls front side, okay, and this rear side. So you can see here the steering linkage, okay, provided this linkage goes into the steering gearbox, and steering column is assembled in the steering gearbox, and other end is having the steering wheel. So as per desire of the driver, it take right or left turn, it's shown here. So this is the chassis. These are the leaf spring or conventional spring, okay, provided for the suspension. Uh, Same. Apart from this, there are also some components like the silencer here. I am going to draw here the silencer here. Okay, like this. It is given. like this. Then fuel tank also to supply a fuel to the engine through the hose. Then air tank for the pneumatic brakes. Okay. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. Hello friend. Different types of layout have the different types of advantages and disadvantages. First, here front engine rear wheel drive. Here the advantages with this type of layout, it's very well balanced weight in this type. It is generally used for the common vehicle. You can say for the common trucks and bus. Large luggage space is provided behind the rear seats. Radiator cooling is natural in this case, in this type of arrangement, and it also better braking efficiency compared to the other type of drive because weight distribution is front as well as the rear side. Next point is the rear engine rear wheel drive. The best example is the nano car. So engine is fitted at the back side or over the rear axle. This layout consists of placing engine, clutch and gearbox is back. Necessity of the propeller shaft is completely eliminated in this type of layout. So it has an excellent traction is available while climbing up the hill. Means it require easily vehicle can climb the hill. It does not take more load or more burden on the engine. A larger passenger space is available for the given length of the body, and the design of vehicle can be made compact by using these types of arrangement. In this case, disadvantages is the space utilization for engine compartment is wasted. No natural direct cooling is available in these types of arrangement. The wheels get turns too sharply due to tendency of vehicle to oversteer. Okay. Next is the front engine front wheel drive. you can see this type of layout in the common car like the Maruti 800, Alto, Swift. So power of engine is given to the front wheels. The propeller shaft length is reduced or neglected in this type of layout. It is also advantageous. It provides good grip with the road surface due to engine weight at the front. It because of this arrangement, wheel skidding and slipping is very much reduced. And same like this first type of layout, here is also natural air cooling of the radiator due to motion of vehicle. So power required for the cooling is reduced in this type of layout. So these are the advantages with this type of layout, advantages and disadvantages. We are going to learn the last layout is called the all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive layout. Here you can see this is the engine, clutch, transmission. After the transmission, this power goes into the transfer case and later it is connected with the chain and sprocket arrangement, and this power is distributed to the front differential and rear differential. Both the front axle as well as the rear axle are the live axles. I would like to share one point here. What is the difference between the dead axle and live axle? Dead axle, best example is the tractor trolley axle. There is no power is provided for that axle. It is only to support the wheel, and it's allowed to rotate the wheel along the surface of that axle. It is only for the supporting purpose. But when axle is rotating as well as the assembled wheel and tire is rotating with that axle, it's called the live axle. So both are the live axle. These types of arrangement is given to the special application like the military vehicles, sports car, you can say SUVs, the Fortuner having four-wheel drive, then off-road vehicle like the all-terrain vehicle or Hiva trucks. All are the vehicle which are operated off-road, which goes in a mud like a soft road. In that case, this types of application is suitable. So here you can see a transfer case is a part of four-wheel drive system and found in a four-wheel drive. All wheels are driving wheels. This case is also called transfer gear box or transfer box. The transfer case receive power from transmission and further pass it to both the front and rear axle. This can be done with the set of gear, but majority of transfer cases manufactured today are chain drive. So the driver can put the transfer case into either two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. There is an arrangement at in the driver's cabin to use this vehicle as a two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, and this sometimes uses the shifter type manual arrangement, or in some vehicle it may be electronic operated by using the switch. Some vehicles, such as all-wheel drive sports car, have a transfer cases that are not selected. It can be permanently locked. Means in some cases this option is not given. So I think you have understood all this. Hello friends. In this point we are going to learn about the types of automobile frames. There are different types of frame used in automobile vehicle, but most commonly used frames are: the first one is called the ladder frame or box type frame, and second one is called the cross type frame or X split frames. So this first, here you can see the front cross member. Okay, number of cross members are connected to this longitudinal two members, and It also provides supports to the body mounting brackets. So it is the main structure which has to support the various components as well as the body of the vehicle. And this frame, it is the furnished structure support the transmission system, engine, other body parts like the shock absorber, spring, shackle, and it also maintain the correct relationship between the other related parts to perform their normal function without any strain. It also takes all static and dynamic load when vehicle in the motion. So, what are the types of loads coming over this frame? The first load is because of the weight of the vehicle and passenger, which create the vertical bending over the frame. Second force is the vertical load when vehicle come across the bumps or potholes. So first load is coming from this vertical direction. When you see the this is the top view, when you see the side view, like you consider this as a frame, okay, having the bump here to provide the cushioning like this. So front load is coming because of this weight of the vehicle or passenger weight. Second forces is vertical load when vehicle come across the bumps at the motion. It's coming through the tire and wheel assembly or the vehicle frame. Third load is inertial load due to sudden application of the brakes. Due to sudden application of the brake, this force comes third. Then engine torque and braking torque. So these are the forces create the vibration and unbalanced forces inside this frame. So frame should be rigid and have the suitable assembly arrangement to sustain all these forces. It performs the different function or purpose, like it provides the base mounting engine and transmission systems. Second, it accommodates the suspension system. Because of that only, when you see this frame from side view, so it is having the upsweep, so it accommodates the suspension system here, okay, the spring suspension system. For that purpose it is provided the upside sweep. Say later this frame shows the narrow at the front side. So at the time of the turning, so it provides the space for the turning of the wheel assembly. For that purpose it made narrow at the front side. It's later it's you can see it is the larger. This frame consists of three types of section, steel section. The first one is the channel section, you can see a channel section, then box section and tabular section. The longitudinal member are closer together at the front of the axle movement, and this depth of the section is increased at the center where greater bending load comes. There are here the body and frame both are the integral part of the framed construction. It has the higher impact resistance, and second, it is easy to repair. the, this frame is classified into three components. Sorry, it is assembled with the three components. First is the longitudinal members. These two longitudinal member here also you can see in this frame longitudinal members. Second is the cross members, okay, and third one is the fastener for the assembly purpose. The longitudinal member, there are two longitudinal members to any frame, they are joined together by using the bracket or fastener with a cross member, and they use the channel like the box, I, L, and circular section. Second one is the cross member. More than two cross members are used between longitudinal member to strengthen the ladder frame. The third one is the fasteners. Fastener may be used to join sometimes to longitudinal to the cross member, or sometimes suitable welding, or in some special cases riveting and bolting also done to assemble this cross member to the longitudinal member. And in this second type, cross frame member chassis type, so cross member are used at inclination position. This cross member is called the diagonal cross bracing. These types of chassis having advantages: it reduces the stress in case of the front impact. For that purpose it is maintained like this or assembled like this. At the center you can see all these cross member are connected with the central plate, or it is called the bracket, to provide the stress relief, or it provides the smooth path for the stress relief. Sometimes reinforcement plates are also used as per the requirement of load, and it is assembled inside these long members, the reinforcement plate. These are the main two types of frames used in the automobile vehicle. We also going to learn different types of frames is used apart from these two types in the next slide. Hello, the first in this a semi-integrated chassis. Why it is called a semi-integrated chassis? You can see here this chassis is made by using two different material. One is the light material and another is the heavy material. So where the loads are coming over this chassis, there it provided the high strength material, and apart from this ordinary or plain common material is used to build the another part of the chassis semi. So it is optimum criteria in case of the cost saving. Next one is the tubular space frame chassis. This chassis uses the circular tubes, and these tubes are welded together to form the complex structure, and it's having very strong strength as compared to other chassis. It is generally used for the you best example is our ATV vehicle or train vehicle is built. It is for the design and construction it is very simple as compared to the other chassis. Third one is the backbone chassis. It has the rectangular tube like the backbone and simple in construction. You can see the backbone, the spider name is given here, backbone, and drivetrain engine and suspension connected at the end of the chassis. Last one here of this point is the monocoque chassis. Most modern car use these types of chassis, and it is the single piece of framework that gives shape to the entire car and built by welding several pieces. It uses the small spot welding, and demand of this monocoque is increased because it is suitable for robotized production. It is suitable for mass. Hello friends, we are going to learn the this point is the types of chassis on the basis of engine position. Earlier we learned the types of chassis on the basis of drive arrangement, engine position and drive arrangement. This is totally different. It is totally chassis depend on the engine position. There are different layout depending on the position of engine. It's called the fully forward chassis, semi forward chassis, bus chassis, engine fitted at the rear, engine mounted at the center. So what is meant by fully forward chassis? Here you can see this first point. In this type of chassis, the engine is fitted in the front of driver seat or outside the driver cabin, and it provided safety to the driver. Generally you can see this in a trucks, okay, which are used to transport the coals or the sand. Second one is the semi forward chassis here, okay. In this chassis, engine is mounted half in a driver compartment and remaining half out of driver compartment. The extra space is given for the passenger and luggage inside the driver cabin. The example is the ambulance or school bus or tempos. Next is the bus chassis. Third one is the bus chassis. Engine is completely mounted inside the driver cabin. Provide the clear view of the road and extra space for the passenger. So engine is completely inside the driver's cabin. It's called the bus chassis. Fourth one is the engine at center of the chassis. Best example in this bus chassis example are our bus, ordinary transporting bus used by the Maharashtra government. And here the fourth is the engine at center of chassis. Best example is the Omni, Maruti Omni car, engine at the exact center. And below this floor you can see the engine. Here this is the position of the engine in the Omni car. So uniform distribution of weight is provided in this type of layout, and the weight concentrated at the center of gravity of automobile, which improves the stability of automobile when it is in the motion. Apart from this, engine fitted at the rear. So best example is the Volvo bus. So engine of that type of layout is backside. So it reduces the vibration. When you see and compare Volvo bus with our ordinary transporting bus, in that case the vibration is less. But the disadvantage of this type of arrangement having the gear shifter lever to the transmission linkage design is difficult. But second advantages with Volvo type layout design or rear engine design, load decks of the bus is possible, and it provides the extra suspension space in that vehicle. So it gives the more comfort as compared to the ordinary arrangement, means front engine position.